So today we're visiting the Treak Cavern in Derbyshire in the Peak District, and later looking at a lead mine and a visit to Mamtour and a trip to Buxton. So this part of the world is the exclusive home of the Blue John fluorite crystal. It was discovered by miners in 1745 that were originally after some lead ore, but they then came upon the Blue John. There are 80 steps leading up from the free car park up to the cavern entrance, where there's a little museum and a shop. The entrance to the cavern is quite low and narrow, the lowest point being 4'6", and dogs are welcome, which is always important to us. There's an abundance of fossils everywhere you look. The Blue John is still being mined in places not open to the public, just on a small scale. There's an app that you download onto your phone, so you get a self-guided tour, and at each point you start off a different section, and they tell you all about the history and what you're actually looking at. The temperature in the cavern is a fairly constant 11 degrees all year round. Some of these flowstone stalagmites and stalactites have been dated back to 111,000 years. The stalactites above these stalagmites have disappeared thousands of years ago, presumably broken off, and they reckon the whole lot has slid down into the cavern. This stalactite and stalagmite, which they call the stalk, they should meet up in about 1,000 years' time. So after the approximately 40-minute self-guided tour, you come out a bit further up on the hillside above where the entrance is. So this is the museum, and just the other side of the building is the shop, where you can buy some quite expensive things, and there's lots of little more affordable bits as well of the Blue John. Parking's free while you're at the cavern, but there's things we wanted to see further down the road, and this is the old Mamtour road, which is now a dead end because of a landslide. We were able to park here overnight. And just a little bit further down the road is the Odin mine. This is one of the oldest mines in England from 1260, and we were able to have a little look in here. It's an old lead mine. This is all now owned and cared for by the National Trust. And close by we have the crushing circle, which was a big stone wheel with a metal band round it. Used to have a post in the middle and then horses pulling this wheel round, and they used to crush the stone to get the lead ore out of the rock. So this map shows the old Mamtor Road. This is where we're parked, and you can see the red dotted line. That's where the road has all slipped away. Along the ridge of Mamtor is a path you can walk, just shown on the left here. The old Mamtor Road, which is actually the A625, was quite a major road between Sheffield and Manchester. But over the years, many landslides, the final one being in 1979, and the road has been closed ever since. I remember being on holiday with my mum and dad when I was about 12, and we drove along this road several times. So we're now going for a walk up to the ridge that runs along the top of Mamtor. So we're back on the road again, just avoiding the hedge, and on our way to Buxton. We saw many groups of young people doing their Duke of Edinburgh hikes. On the left is the Speedwell Cavern, where you go down an old lead mine and along a tunnel on a river in a boat. And here we're just entering the Winnets Pass. The valley of the pass, which is made of limestone, has evidence of sea creature fossils, some 350 million years old, which apparently indicates that it was once under a tropical sea. The pass has a gradient of up to 20%, which is fairly steep. The pass is frequently used for the National Hill Climb Championship. It's been used for competitions on 10 occasions. So we haven't come far. At the top of the map there is where the Cavern was, and we're now at Buxton at the Caravan and Motorhome club site. Ahead and to the right is where the public car park is if you're a day visitor, and the club site is on the left. So when I came in here I made a mistake. I went on the left hand lane, which is the reception for new arrivals. I had to reverse back and then go in the next lane because actually I'd got a fast pass, so they already knew the registration number of the vehicle, and with number plate recognition you just drive up to the barrier and then it opens for you. So we'll just have a drive around the site and find a nice spot. When you found your spot, you get a text, and you answer the text with your pitch number, so you don't have to actually go to reception at all. On the left here is the motor caravan service point. Freshwater and wastewater emptying points aren't too far apart. Dry waste rubbish has to be taken outside the gates to the entrance of the site where the main rubbish bins are. There's no separate bins within the site. This is a very attractive site. Originally it was a limestone quarry, and that dates back to about 1662. So here's the public car park, which gives access to Greenlow Wood and Solomon's Temple, which is where we're off to now. Solomon's Temple, also known as Greenlow Tower, is a Victorian folly which is built on the summit of Greenlow Hill. In 1894 there was a meeting held at Buxton Town Hall, and they decided to rebuild the landmark tower that had been built by Solomon Mycock of the Cheshire Cheese Hotel in the early 19th century, and there was only a few stones of that remained, so they decided to rebuild it. The tower is of significance to my wife, who used to come here as a little girl to visit when she used to live in Buxton. Below us is Greenlow Wood, which we'll go and have a look at next. There were various artefacts dotted around, which I think is probably going back to the limestone quarrying theme, the breaking of the rocks and finding fossils. The lumps in the ground here are actually pudding lime kilns going back to the 17th century. So we're leaving Buxton now and we're off to Carsington Water, so if you want to follow us just click on the links and we'll see you there. Thanks for watching.